everybody, it is Melissa Lloyd with the Valley City Barnes County Public Library, and I am here to bring you a book talk. What is a book talk? It's me talking about books, and one of my favorite things as a librarian when I get the chance is to read a book and talk about it, and I don't always get the chance to talk about the books that I enjoy. So that's what I'm here. We have a YouTube channel, so I thought it would be great to share some book talks with you. So this book talk is about Crescent City, The House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. It is a urban fantasy novel, also paranormal romance. It's a really character-driven story, lots of characters. It's a fantasy set in a world that is similar to our own, but different because there's demons and angels and werewolves and witches and humans and fae, and it's a really engrossing story. The story is about Bryce Quinlan, a reputed party gal who got an adopted family of Danica, and she is a werewolf, and she has her pack of devils, which is her werewolf pack, and they have created this family that Bryce really relies on and cares about. And then one night they're murdered by a demon. And this really affects Bryce. I mean, this was her family, and so she naturally goes through the stages of grief. The man who summons the demon winds up behind bars, but then a year later, the murders start to happen again. Now, the story progresses, and an enslaved fallen angel named Hunt, and I'm probably gonna say his name wrong, Hunt Athalar, is given the task of finding the demon and shortening his sentence of servitude. But he needs Bryce's help to do it. Bryce doesn't have any choice in the matter. She's ordered by one of the supreme beings to help Hunt find the demon, person who raises the demon. But she's got an attitude. I mean, she's got a really attitude. If you like girls with attitudes, then Bryce is a great character for you. She has her own agenda. So she's not going to make the angel's investigation easy on him. She wants revenge on the person who summoned the demon and who killed Danica and then the pack of the devils. So that's the basic gist of the story, but there is so much more that happens that this book talk would go on forever because it's such a great story. It's Sarah J. Maas' newest book. It's 800 pages, so it's not a thin book, but that just reiterates the fact that there's a lot that happens. There's character development, it has action, intrigue, romance, and it's a story that starts out as a slow burn but ends just with this huge bang, and you just, oh my gosh, keep more. You want more. It's 800 pages, but you want more. Much of the story is world building. You are introduced to Crescent City, where angels, fae, and werewolves and other creatures all live and work and play. Bryce is a half human, half fae, and she works as an antiquities dealer, and she's not quite happy in her job, but she doesn't know what else to do. She's a very lost character even before Danica and the pack of devils are murdered, and her relationships suffer, so she doesn't really have, Danica was it. Danica was, they were true friends, and when she loses Danica, she is very much lost. She doesn't have any true friends, and this causes a lot of heartache for Bryce. And this angel, Hunt Athalar, shouldn't be a hard name to say, but it is. He's very much a loner type character. He's an indentured servant, and so he's not, and he is a hunter. He is the killer of killers. If you want somebody dead, he's your guy. So he and Bryce don't get along. They butt heads a lot, and it's this really great dynamic, and it creates some tension. But they eventually do develop a friendship, and it's a friendship that Bryce really does need. There are moments in the story where your heart is pounding, and you're just, oh please, don't, oh no, don't do that, no, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. So I recommend it to read it slow because there's so much that happens that is really important to the story, but it's such a great read that you find yourself speeding through it. I mean, it's 800 pages and I finished it in like 2-3 days. And that's when I should have been doing something other stuff. So there's so many nuances to this book that to pick out one thing that would really hook you in and get you to sink your teeth in and get to want to read, there's too many. I'd be here all day. But Crescent City is ultimately a book about friendship. Sarah J. Maas creates these characters of depth and emotion, and the friendship of Danica and Bryce is loving and heartfelt. Their friendship is so true they wanted to spend eternity together, as shown by this passage. From the moment Bryce walked into her dorm room freshman year, they'd done everything together, just the two of them, as it always would be. They even planned to make the drop together, to freeze into immortality at the same breath, with the members of the pack of devils anchoring them. Technically, it wasn't true immortality. The veneer did age and die, either of natural causes or other methods, but the aging process was so slowed after the drop that depending on one's species, it would take centuries to show a wrinkle. The Fae could last 1,000 years, the shifters and the witches usually 5 centuries, the angels somewhere between. But Bryce had rarely thought about where she'd fall on that spectrum, whether her half-Fae heritage would grant her 100 years or 1,000. It didn't matter. So as long as Danica was there for it all, starting with the drop, they'd take the deadly plunge into their matured power together, encounter whatever lay at the bottom of their souls, and then race back up to life before the lack of oxygen rendered them brain dead, or just plain dead. So that was Sarah J. Maas's Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood. It's a great story, great fantasy, great characters. It's a slow burn that bursts into this firecracker of action. So really great story, so I encourage you to check it out. I'm Melissa Lloyd with the Valley City Barnes County Public Library, and we'll see you in the stacks.